Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how we can use find command in Linux and Mac terminals. Find command can be used in order to find files and directories based on certain criteria. We can also perform certain operations on the files and directories using find command. So for the sake of this demo, I have created few files and directories in slash home slash demo VM slash demo directory. So these are all the files and directories that I have created for the demo purpose. So let's get started with the find commands. So if you want to list all the files and directories starting from the current working directory, then you can use find space dot. So here dot indicates the current working directory. So if I click on enter, so here you can see this command list all the files, directories, subdirectories, and the files inside the subdirectories as well. And if you don't want to go that deep and if you only want to list the files and directories in the current working directory and you don't need the subdirectories and the files inside the subdirectory, then you can use max depth. So so let me do this one, find dot, and you can use max depth 1. So this will list the files and directories in the current working directory, and it will not include the subdirectories and the files inside the subdirectory. So here you can see we are getting the files and the directories in the current working directory. Let's say if you want to go one level down, then you can use, instead of 1, you can give 2, and this will list the files and directories and it will go one level down. Let's say instead of listing the files and directories starting from the current working directory, if you want to list the files and directories starting from, let's say, apps directory, then you can use find space apps. And if you click on enter, this will list all the files and directories starting from the apps directory. Now let's say if you want to list only the files starting from the current working directory and you want to exclude all the directories, then you can use find dot hyphen type f. So here f indicates the files. So if you click on enter, this will only list the files starting from the current working directory and it will not list the directories. Similarly, if you want to list only the directories and if you want to exclude the files, then you can use D instead of F. Here D indicates the directories, and if you click on enter, so this will list only the directories starting from the current working directory and it will exclude all the files. Now let's say, for example, you know the name of the file and you don't know where that file is located in the machine and you want to know the path where it is located in the server. Then you can use find command to know the path where it is located. For example, let's say you have a file app.py in this machine and you don't know where it is located. Then you can use find space dot hyphen type f, and we want to know the path where the file is located. Then you have to provide the name of the file. So here this command, when we run this command, it will provide the path where app1.py file is located. Let's click on enter. You can see we are getting the path where this is located. So if you navigate to the apps folder and if you click on LL, you can see we have app1.py file located in this path. So in this way, if you know a specific file name and you don't know the path, and if you want to know the path where it is located, then you can use find command and it will provide you the path if the file exists in the machine. If the file doesn't exist, then it will not provide you any path. So for example, let's say I want to give app 20.py, for example. So here we are not getting any output. That means this app 20.py file is not there in this machine. So again, if you see here, we have app1.py and app1.py. So we have a couple of files with the same name, but the difference is this app1.py is with the lowercase letters and this app1.py is with the uppercase letters. So in Linux, lowercase app1.py and the uppercase app1.py will be treated separately. So if you run this command, you are getting the path to only lowercase app1.py. That is because in the quotations, we are only providing the lowercase app1.py. So let's say, for example, if you provide uppercase app1.py, and if I click on enter, we are getting the uppercase app1.py path where it was located. So now if you want to list all the files without considering the case sensitivity, then you can use I in the find command. So let me go one folder back, and to the same command, let me just provide I here. So here I indicates the case insensitive. So if I click on enter, so here we are getting path to both app1.py files. So this is the lowercase app1.py file and this is the path to uppercase app1.py. So if you want to list the path of all the files without considering the case sensitivity, then you can use I in the command. Now let's assume there are some files in the server and you only know the starting part of the file name and you don't know the ending part of the file name. For example, let's say there are some files and you know that the file name starts with app, but you don't know the ending part of the file name and you want to list the path of all the files that are starting with app file name, then you can use the find command along with the asterisk so that it will list all the files which starts with certain file name. So let me run the command and show you how that works. So find dot hyphen type f and hyphen name. So let's say we know that the file name starts with app and we don't know the ending part of the file name. So let's give it as asterisk. So what this will do is it will list all the files starting from the current working directory and which starts with the app name. So let's click on enter. Now you can see we are getting the path to all the file names which are starting with app. This asterisk is very useful in certain conditions. For example, let's say you want to locate all the Python files in the server. Then you can use the same find command along with the asterisk. So it should be at the beginning dot py. So the reason why I'm giving this dot py is because all the Python files has the extension dot py. So this asterisk is very useful in certain conditions. For example, let's say you want to locate all the Python files in the server. Then you can use the same find command along with the asterisk. So it should be at the beginning dot py. So the reason why I'm giving this dot py is because all the Python files has the extension dot py. So I'm giving that one, and if I click on end, so here you can see we are getting the location to the Python files in the server. And in the same way, you can also provide different extensions. For example, let me provide Java. So you'll give all the path where the Java files are located. So this will be very useful in some situations. For example, let's say if you are trying to debug the issue and you don't know where the log files are there in the server, and if you want to list all the log files in the server, then you can use this find command along with the asterisk, and that will provide the path to all the log files in the server. So now let's say if you want to find all the directories and the files in the server which are empty, so then you can use find command, find dot, and you can use hyphen empty. So this will list all the files and the directories which are empty. So if you want to check that, let me open this file and see if there is some content in the file or not. So let me use cat to display the content, and if I click on enter, we are not getting any content displayed on the terminal. So this command will list all the directories and the files that are empty in the server. Now let's say if you want to know only the directories which are empty, and if you want to exclude the files, then you can use hyphen type and you can use D. So this will give all the directories which are empty. So here you can see we have text, sign up and database. So these are the directories which are empty. And in the same way, if you want to find the files which are empty and you want to exclude the directories, then you can use F. F represents the files here. So if I click on enter, you can see these are all the files that are empty. And you can also use asterisk in this scenario as well. For example, let's say if you want to find all the Python files which are empty, so then you can use hyphen name and you can use asterisk dot py. So this will list all the Python files which are empty, and here you can see we are getting these two files. So these files doesn't have any content. So in this way you can find the empty files and the directories in the machine.